What's up, my friends? Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. I appreciate everybody joining me for another PrizePicks video. My name's CJ Curry. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. We're going to be looking at RotoWire. We're going to be looking at Fantasy Labs, Betting Pros, and LineStar, and see what their top rated picks are for each one of those apps. So if you're new to the channel and you're looking for some NBA player props, this is the place to be. Hit the subscribe button, free for you to do that. Hit that like button for me as well. I'm setting today's goal at 199.5, meaning I need 200 or more likes from you guys out there, and I believe we can get that done easy peasy lemon squeezy. And you may also want to hit that bell, turn on those notifications so that anytime I post a new piece of content here on the channel, you're not left out in the cold. All right. So the site that I always reference is going to be PrizePicks. That's where I like to play my NBA player props. If you're not using PrizePicks yet, they're still doing an awesome promotion where the first $5 you play, win or lose, they're going to give you $50. So to take advantage of this offer, use promo code CJ Curry. I've left a special link for you down in the description of today's video. And also down in the description, you're going to find links to everything that I use on screen here today. So if you're interested in trying out the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer or RotoWire or one of these other DFS pick'em style apps, I got the hookup. All those links can be found down in the description. So I got a lot of encouraging feedback from you guys from the last video. We gave you a ton of options, probably about 20 different player prop picks for you to choose from, really. So I kind of left it up to you. You guys can kind of build out your own entries. Some of you guys like playing the 2-pick power plays. Some of you guys like going for the 25X and playing the 6-pick flex entries. And so you can kind of mix these, match these, however you want to run these is totally up to you. But we're going to look at, first and foremost, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. Now, what this tool does so well is it basically saves you the time and effort from going out and checking multiple DFS apps, from going out and checking multiple sports books. It basically aggregates all that information, puts it into one easy to read, easy to use app for you. And this is basically what you've got here. So it goes out and it looks at the sports books. It sees which way the money's coming in. Is it coming in on the over or is it coming in on the under? And then it takes out the VIG and gives you fair odds in a form of a percentage of odds to hit. And those are your chances of this player prop hitting or not hitting. So we're going to just look at the top few options here that are currently on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. You can even see how many sports this thing supports. Anything from tennis to esports to NBA to college sports to NFL. It's all right here for you. If you want to save 25% on your first month, check the link down in the description. For this video, we're obviously talking NBA, so I'm going to just filter out and show NBA picks. And the top NBA option on the board right now is Tyrese Halliburton under 9.5 assists. This one's got almost a 54% chance of hitting as of right around 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. And the reason this one has about a 54% chance to hit is because all the sports books that have Tyrese Halliburton at 9.5 assists right now, the money is coming in from real bettors with real money in hand. They're laying their money in on the under for Tyrese Halliburton. They expect him to have 9 or fewer assists. And you can see that even the sharpest sports book out there, the gold standard Pinnacle, they've got him as a -132 betting favorite under 9.5. So if you're playing on PrizePicks, you wouldn't want to take the over on Tyrese Halliburton, being that all the money, all the data that's pulled in from these sports books is suggesting that bettors are taking the under here. So don't do that. The next pick would be D'Angelo Russell of the Los Angeles Lakers, who's sitting out there at 8.5 rebounds plus assists. This is another underplay here. Almost a 54% chance for him to stay under 9 rebounds plus assists. And same situation here. If you look at some of the sports books like FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, and Caesars, all the juice is coming in on the under, so they expect him to have fewer than 9 rebounds plus assists. The third pick is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope of my Orlando Magic, who are currently struggling in a slump ever since Paolo Banchero went down, but they've got him going under 10 points. And again, this is pulled from the odds and the data from these sports books. You can see at 10.5 points on a sports book like Pinnacle, a -162 betting favorite to stay under 10.5 points according to that data. So he could land on exactly 10, but 10 or fewer points looks like the most likely outcome just based on the mathematical odds pulled from each of these sports books. The next play would be Keegan Murray of the Sacramento Kings, points plus rebounds at 22.5. The optimizer saying take the under here. Almost a 54% chance for him to stay under 22.5 points plus rebounds. You're seeing some sports book that have Keegan Murray listed at 21.5. So you're starting to see these lines come down from 22.5 to 21.5. If you joined me in previous videos, you know that FanDuel is typically leading the pack when it comes to bumping lines up and bumping lines down. And you can see that they are first in line at bumping Keegan Murray down to 21.5 points plus rebounds. Don't be surprised if this one ends up at 21.5 before it's all said and done. And I'll hit you with the fifth and final play, which is going to be Yusuf Nurkic of the Phoenix Suns at 11.5 points plus assists. He is a betting favorite to go under at a 53.3% chance of staying under that figure. Minus 140, minus 142 betting odds on some of these sports books to stay under 12 points plus assists in this matchup tonight. So those are your top 5 plays from the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. If you're looking for even more picks from the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and you want to try this tool out for yourself, link down in the description below will save you 25% on your very first month. So let's swing it on over to RotoWire. Now, RotoWire is pretty cool. RotoWire does a few different things here. If you look at some of these little player prop projection cards, we'll start things off here with Draymond Green taking on the Boston Celtics. RotoWire not only gives you the latest news and updates about a player, but they're also going to do kind of similar to what the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer does. They're going to go out and look at DFS pick'em sites and compare the PrizePicks line to other DFS pick'em apps. They're also going to compare the PrizePicks line to other sportsbook apps like the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. But then where it kicks it up a notch is it's going to include a RotoWire proprietary projection. So they've got their own projection models that they factor in here. And they're going to give you a glimpse at what the hit rates look like. And so they kind of come up with this little algorithm using those 4 data points. And then they suggest whether you should lean over or you should lean under on a given player prop. So in this case, Draymond Green, one of the top over options or leaning more options according to the RotoWire app here. He's projected for 8.29 rebounds today. So this is an option that you could take that he might land on exactly 6, but he could potentially go for 6 or more rebounds given that RotoWire projection. Another guy that is leaning more is Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks going up against the Atlanta Hawks tonight. He's sitting out there at 21.0 points plus rebounds. And again, if you open up the full breakdown, you could see that he's at 21.5 on most DFS pick'em sites. He's at 21.5 and even 22.5 on some of the sports books out there. And he's got a massive projection of 27.2 points plus rebounds according to the RotoWire projection tool. So that gives you a little bit more information for Mikal Bridges. That could be a good option to take, being that he is projecting so doggone high. Another over option would be Kevin Durant of the Phoenix Suns, who's sitting out there at 6 rebounds. Again, most apps and sports books have him at 6.5. The RotoWire projection has him at 7.52, and he's got some games in his game log where he's had 8 and 9 rebounds on some of these more recent games from this season. Now, if you look at the lean less options, you got Jason Tatum versus Golden State tonight at 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Again, if we open up his player card here, you're going to see that he's listed at 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists on most DFS apps and sports books. You're also getting a projection of about 41.6 according to the RotoWire projections, which is a difference of about 2.9 points, rebounds, and assists. And you can take a look at his hit rates as well, like for the 2024 season, right here inside of the RotoWire app. You can see that he's only went over this number in 3 games this season in a total of 8 played. So he's gone under more often than he has gone over. So that's why they got him leaning over. A number of different reasons why, in fact. Paul George of the Philadelphia 76ers going up against his former team, the Los Angeles Clippers. Despite the revenge narrative here, it looks like Paul George is going to be someone you may want to consider taking the under on at 21.5 points. Now, it's a limited game size and sample for Paul George. Obviously, he hasn't played in very many contests this season. In fact, if we go to his 2024 game logs, you can see he's only played in 1 game. He only had 15 points against the Phoenix Suns. But as far as the numbers look here for Paul George, he's at 19.5 points on some sites like Sleeper. 20.5 points on other sites and sports books like FanDuel and BetMGM. And his projection here on RotoWire is just 19.62. So all these numbers and trends and data points are suggesting you take the under on Paul George, which brings us to another under option, Derek White, who's sitting out here at 29 points, rebounds, and assists going up against the Golden State Warriors. Once again, you're seeing some data here, data points, 27.5 PRA on some sites, 28.5 on others. He's projected for 27.53 points, rebounds, and assists according to the RotoWire projections. And then just taking a look at his hit rates for this season, you can see that he's went over in just 2 games out of the 8 in which he has appeared. Obviously, Jaylen Brown was out for that last game, so he ended up getting 33 PRA in that matchup. So definitely want to keep an eye on the injury news for Boston. But those are your top 6 plays from the RotoWire app. Again, if you want to take RotoWire for a spin, I got an all-access 2-day pass down in the description of today's video. Now, this was the tool that you guys said you had the most success with in our previous video. This is the Fantasy Labs player prop simulation tool. This is a great tool, in fact, and you guys have probably heard me say in the past that Fantasy Labs is probably my favorite when it comes to NBA projection models, very sharp projection models. So let's take a look at these. And if you want, feel free to take a screenshot and you could research these picks a little bit more if you would like to. Derrick Jones Jr., a couple of different ways to play Derrick Jones Jr. according to the Sims, the models here. At 9.5 points, they say take the under. You got about a 73.2% chance of this prop hitting for you, which is pretty massive. Derrick Jones Jr. for under points and rebounds at 12.5. Take the under on this one is what it's suggesting. 70.2% chance that he stays under 12.5 points plus rebounds. You've also got Drew Holiday of the Boston Celtics sitting out there at 20.5 points plus rebounds. Again, this is another under option, almost a 70% chance, 69.47% chance. That's the win percentage when they sim out these games. Simulate it. Drew Holiday in this case goes under his points plus rebounds at a pretty high clip. Now, these are always refreshing, and I think they just refreshed right now. And you got another Derrick Jones Jr. prop. His points and assists at 10.5 says take the under, 69.43% chance that he stays under there. You've also got Andre Drummond of the Philadelphia 76ers at 10.5 rebounds. The more looks like the best way to go based on the player projections and the simulations. 68.8% chance that Drummond collects at least 11 rebounds. Another Derrick Jones Jr. prop for the under, his points, rebounds, and assists at 13.5, 67% chance that he stays under there. Another Andre Drummond over on his fantasy score, which is sitting at 26, 66.8% chance that he goes over his fantasy score. And so you're seeing some love here for Derrick Jones Jr. unders, Andre Drummond overs. You got Drew Holiday unders coming in pretty hot here for the PRA at 24.5, the PR at 20. So a lot of different options, a lot of different ways you could go here using this Fantasy Labs tool. Let's go over to Betting Pros, another fantastic tool for my PrizePicks players out there. Of all the tools in today's video, this one right here is the only one that I know of that is free for you to use. So starting things off here with Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets at 30.5 fantasy score. They've got a projection for him at 38.3, a differential of 7.8 fantasy score. So a massive over projection. Ja Morant sitting out there at 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's got a projection tonight, according to Betting Pros, of 46.1. So that's a differential of 7.6 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists. Same thing with his PA, same thing with his PR. Taking the over on Ja Morant just looks like the best way to go. Same thing with Miles Bridges on his PRA. If you don't like the fantasy score, you could go PRA. Santi Aldama of Memphis, 23 points, rebounds, and assists, projected for just 15.9. So that's a pretty massive under, a difference of 7.1 when you compare the PrizePicks line versus the projection. And seeing some more trends here for Ja Morant overs, Miles Bridges overs. You've even got Brandon Miller on here at 29.5 fantasy score, projected for 35.7. So if you want to check out Betting Pros, guys, pretty good tool right here, and it's totally free. Go to bettingpros.com and you can get your hands on this one. And last but not least, to wrap this video up, we're looking at LineStar. Now, LineStar is a pretty handy tool as well. They cover a variety of different sports, much like RotoWire. They offer player prop projections and more advanced information and stats when you pop open these little game charts here. So let's look at the top plays currently on the LineStar app right now. They got Buddy Hield of the Golden State Warriors, who's at 15.5 points, but he's projected for 24 according to Line Stars. So of course they like the over on some Buddy Hield points tonight. Another guy that they like to take the under on is Klay Thompson of the Dallas Mavericks, who's sitting out there at 16.5 points. You can see that his projection is just 11 according to the Line Star projections. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. of the Detroit Pistons sitting out there at 12 points, but his projection is at 14.2. So they're liking some THJ to clear his 12-point prop over on PrizePicks. Here's another one for Buddy Hield. He's at 18 points plus assists, but his projection sitting out there at 25.9 points plus assists. So a lot of love for Buddy Hield tonight. And then there's our guy, Derrick Jones Jr. He's another one that showed up over on the Fantasy Labs projections. Well, he's projected to go under his points on Line Star as well at just 7.2 projected points tonight. So I hit you with a whole lot of picks. Feel free to rewind the video. Feel free to take some screenshots. Feel free to jot these down in your notebook if you want. But these are the top picks from the top PrizePicks apps across the industry. So hopefully these tools lead you to some winning picks, plays, and parlays today. And if you're in Dub Club and Discord, I'll be dropping some slips for you guys throughout the day. Good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays on PrizePicks. We'll catch you in the next video real soon. Peace.